YOLO. Today we're going to take a look at how much I was able to gross last year from various sources. My W-2, my dividends, and just a quick heads up, this is not for me to flex or to brag, but this is just kind of documenting my financial journey, and I honestly wish I started keeping track sooner than last year for everything. But they say the best time to plant a tree is 30 years ago, and the second best time is today. So as long as you just get started tracking your financial journey, one day you'll be able to say, man, I'm really glad I actually did that. But now I'm rambling, so without any further ado, because I don't, let's get into it. Alright, starting with January. I had 4 paychecks in the month of January on the 5th, the 11th, the 19th, and the 26th for $1,197.09, $947.22, $1,652.10, and $1,873.43, coming to a total of $5,669.84 from my job. And this is all before taxes. Then I made $608.34 in dividends in January, bringing January's grand total to $6,278.18. Moving on to February. In February, we had 4 paychecks on the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, and the 23rd for $1,667.64, $1,741.75, $1,655.86, $1,582.08. That brings the total from my job to $6,647.33. Then in February, I got $868.85 in dividends, bringing the total amount that I earned in February to $7,516.18. Alrighty, on to March. And in March, we actually had 5 paychecks. So we had one on the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th for $1,630.41, $2,002.33, $1,784.04, $1,353.18, $1,813.12, bringing the total in March from my job to $8,583.08. And the dividends we received in March was $1,020.75, bringing the grand total for March to $9,603.83. Alright, now for the end of Q1 results, or the first quarter of the year, the first 3 months. From my job, I got $20,900.25. In dividends, I got $2,497.94, bringing Q1's grand total to $23,398.19. Now move on to the month of April, where we had 4 paychecks, one on the 1st, the 12th, the 19th, and the 26th for $1,322.85, $1,765.51, $1,658 even, and then $1,083.62, bringing April's total for my job to $5,829.71. Now, in dividends, I got $1,657.84, bringing April's grand total to $7,486.55. Now we move on to May, which is always one of my best months. In May, we once again had 5 paychecks, one on the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, and on the 31st, coming in for $1,678.16, $2,115.98, $2,043.34, $1,924.11, and $1,700.13, bringing the total from my job to $9,461.72. Now, as far as dividends go, we got $1,410.90, bringing May's grand total to $10,872.62. And now we move on to June. 4 paychecks in the month of June, one on the 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th, for $1,773.03, $1,741.81, $1,542.38, and $1,308.97, bringing the total for the job up to $6,366.19. Now for dividends, we got $1,285.22, bringing June's grand total to $7,651.41. That brings the end of Q2's results for the job to $21,657.62. For dividends, $4,353.96, bringing Q2 of 2024 up to $26,011.58. With Q1 and 2 comboed, we can now get the total for the first half of the year. So the first half of the year for 2024, I had $42,557.87 from my job. Dividends brought in $6,851.90, bringing the grand total for the first half to $49,409.77. All right, moving into the month of July, we had 4 paychecks, one on the 5th, one on the 12th, one on the 19th, and one on the 26th, for $2,049.90, $1,684.21, $1,613.35, $1,989.76, bringing the total for the job to $7,337.22. And in dividends, we were able to get $1,774.39, bringing July to $9,111.61. Now for the month of August, we had 5 paychecks, one on the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th, for $1,893.88, $1,070.41, $2,059.16, $1,158.09, $2,368.29, bringing the total for August from my job to $8,549.83. In dividends, we got $1,366.19, bringing August grand total to $9,916.02. Next is September, and it was a little bit of a low month. We had 4 paychecks, one on the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th, for $1,647.95, $1,193.45, $1,273.31, and $1,361.61, bringing the total to $5,476.33 from the job. Dividends, we got $1,448.89, bringing September's grand total to $6,925.22. With September, that wraps up the end of Q3. So our Q3 results are $21,363.38 from the job, $4,589.47 from dividends, bringing the grand total for Q3 of 2024 to $25,952.85. Moving on to October, we had 4 paychecks, one on the 4th, the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th, for $1,702.18, $1,415.64, $1,737.06, and $1,327.47, bringing the totals for the job to $6,182.35. Dividends was $944.88, bringing October's grand total to $7,127.23. Moving into the month of November, we had 5 paychecks, one on the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th, for $1,280.80, $1,617.49, $1,333.86, $2,013.98, $1,226.93, bringing the total for the job to $7,473.06. In dividends, we got $744.81, bringing November's grand dividend total to $8,217.87. And finally, moving on to the month of December, we had 4 paychecks, on the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th, for $1,547.96, $1,869.22, $2,145.74, $1,577.14, for the job's total, that is $7,140.06. In dividends, we got $15,921.78, for a grand total of December of $23,061.84. Now, the reason for the massive jump in dividend payments is because of the loan I took out to buy Coney. So from December of 2024 on, I would be receiving much larger dividend payments for that reason. Now for the Q4 results. From the job, $20,795.47. From dividends, $17,611.47. So the grand total is $38,406.94. The end of year totals for 2024. Job paid $84,716.72. Dividends was $29,052.84, bringing the grand total for 2024 to $113,769.56. That is incredible. The only thing is, I wish I got to keep all that money because this is all pre-tax dollars. So the IRS hasn't dipped their fingers into it quite yet. Having a larger income, as well as living incredibly frugally, is how I was able to hit $100K within 2 years, starting from zero. And I'm hoping that it'll help take me to the next milestone, which would be $250,000. But for that, you'll have to stay tuned for the 2025 income reviews, hopefully coming soon. So make sure you subscribe and hit that post notification bell so you don't miss them when they drop. And it also wouldn't hurt if you liked and dropped a comment too. The algorithm really likes it. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Rose, and I'll catch you on the flip side.